Alright, this week's tutorial is going to be on the zero gravity ladder. Here it is again. So this trick is a little tough to get the hang of. It consists of, let's see, 1, 2, 3 rollovers. The tough part comes in keeping the momentum, especially since going from the pinky to the index is different from going the index to the thumb. I'll explain that with the tips I tell you throughout this video. So what you're going to do to learn this trick, you're going to start by doing some type of thumb rollover. That's really the best way to get into the trick. Like, there are other ways, but just do the thumb rollover for now, and you're going to do it. You can do it vertical, but the transfer momentum will be easier if you do it horizontal. So what I normally do to get it most consistent is I will do a zero gravity chaplain, whip rollover, and then you're going to catch it between your thumb and your pinky like this. Yeah, so catch it like this, and then you're immediately going to put your ring finger in, and you're going to kind of do a little wrist pass and put your hand palm down like this. Where you're going to want to catch from the thumb rollover is maybe about 1/3 of the way down the handle from the pivot. If you're too close, it's going to be kind of tough to keep that momentum going. Too far, and it's going to become more of like a Murnax, and that's going to swing way out. So about 1/3 tends to be perfect. Alright, so once you've caught the whichever handle, you go zero gravity, and you're going to let it roll over your ring finger and catch it with your middle. So and a very important step in this trick is to be able to do the initial rollover into that first zero gravity rollover without losing momentum. So practice catching it between your thumb and your pinky, replacing, and going straight into the first rollover. All right. So once you're here, you're gonna put your index finger maybe about, let's see, it's gonna be slightly past wherever your middle finger is. So you kind of climb up the handle. As you're doing that, you are letting go with your ring finger. So once you get to here, what you're gonna do is climb up, and the goal is to then do a helix. So when I say do a helix, your thumb is gonna come in and meet your pointer finger. So at the beginning, you were kind of down the handle a little bit, but then when you do this part, you're really gonna kind of choke up on it. The reason for that is it's gonna give you a consistent end of the zero gravity ladder, whereas if you try to learn it by keeping your thumb way out here, you have much less control. For the initial parts of the trick, it makes sense to go about 1/3 down to keep that momentum. but as you're ending it, keeping your thumb kind of close to the pivot is going to help you get over that last hump of momentum. Because as you're getting to that third rollover, chances are as you're learning it, you're losing that momentum. So you'll, do this first one, maybe even the second one, and then it's going to feel like you're losing it. If you come in with your thumb right here and kind of push, it's going to do, it's going to cause it to continue going even if you're about to lose it. When you're learning it, go ahead and use lots of hand movement. Each time you start a roll, you're going to kind of push it towards, like if you're right-handed, you push to the right, left-handed, push to the left. So as you're doing, so when you do a helix, that first roll, you actually kind of push your finger this way. And same with the thumb part. And that same concept is going to apply to all three rollovers to keep it moving. You keep your hand moving in a circular motion. A few things to keep in mind. This is not a twirl. Do not treat it like a twirl. Do not try to force the movements. When you're doing it, do not try and like twirl. I don't know how else to say it. When you're doing it, this is a rollover trick. It's just 3 rollovers. So do not, keep your hand kind of loose. Like when you're twirling, you're kind of pushing that handle between your fingers. But when you're doing a zero gravity ladder, you are not. You are flowing. You go here, it rolls over your finger, and then you push into it to keep it going, and then once more. Keep your hand a little loose. Let it flow. Yeah, I don't really have any more tips for this trick. One more trick, actually. So when you're learning how to do this part, do it in steps, right? So 1, 2, 3. Now right here is where you're going to do the helix, but to learn, if you're having trouble with that last part, what you can do, put your fingers together as if you're going to do a helix and do a whip rollover. So what that looks like, I found that it's 100 times more consistent because you can just grab on the handle and you only technically need to get through 2 rollovers. Once you can do that, you put your fingers in the same spot but do the helix. So, I hope this helped, guys. It is a tough trick, so if you need any help, shoot me a DM or leave a comment. And as always, peace.